Hi, this is Dr. Anita with another diamond moment. The diamonds in our lives are produced through time, heat, and pressure. It's what we do with these moments in our lives that will determine our future, our wellness, and our well-being. We've been talking quite a while now about belief systems, what we believe, whether or not we have been taught the truth or whether we have been taught a belief system that plays into someone else's use of ourselves and our lives. And in that, once you come to the awakened point of realizing that what we have been taught is not necessarily accurate, it brings many people to the place of needing to reevaluate their entire belief system. And many times this is very uncomfortable. It goes back to, if that is not who I am, then who am I? But even in that thought, even in that question, it brings us back around to where we've always been, living in a life that is not who we are, being hindered by something, someone outside of who we are, and searching to get back to who we truly are. I heard a song, and for those that have been with me for a while, you know that I really enjoy music. And this was a song by, I believe, John Mayer, Waiting on the World to Change. And I think that many times that is exactly what we do in our lives. We're waiting for something outside of us to change the world that we live in, the way that we move in this reality that we're in right now. And we're waiting on something outside of ourselves in order to have that change. And I'm actually going to title the next series of episodes on waiting on the world to change, because I think that it very accurately describes a mindset. That mindset puts the power of our lives outside of us, because to acknowledge the power that we actually have can be frightening. When we allow ourselves to take the limitations off of who we are, when we allow ourselves to be exactly who we were created, for those who believe that we made a contract to come to this life and to perform a particular thing or learn something, when we realize, when we take the restraints off of our lives, we are exactly where we need to be and who we need to be. So many times we utilize someone else's opinion or their perspective on who we are, what we should accomplish, where we should be, and we have limited ourselves by their limited viewpoint. But I want to add in another perspective, and that is, we really have not come to realize how great we truly are, how large, how magnificent, how powerful we really are. And until we come to that place of realization, we will forever be waiting on the world to change. Part of that song talks about the culture that we live in, or the government, or whatever that you are actually waiting on to change. And I want to present to you, offer to you, an idea that maybe you are that change. Maybe you are the change that you've been waiting for. And walking into the reality of who you truly are is such a awesome responsibility that you pull back from it. What if your enlightenment, what if your updated reality actually begin to make the change that you've been waiting to see? What if your being able to step into your true authentic self gave others the right to step into their true authentic selves? Then where would we be? In the previous segments, I've been talking about the fear that has been sown into our lives through a belief system that's not necessarily having anything to do with life and that more abundant, but everything to do with control. We've talked about, and I've offered you the opportunity to go and do your own research. I can't teach you everything, walk you through everything. You have to take the responsibility of upgrading your life yourself. The expression that says when the student is ready, the teacher will come. So for those who have been following and continue to follow, you're ready. You're ready. Now, once the teacher comes and you're able to receive what the teacher is providing, then there does come a time when the teacher leaves and you are left with the knowledge that you need to have in order to live your highest and your best life. So once again, if you're waiting on the world to change, then I want to suggest to you that you are that change. Last time we talked about shining light in darkness. We've talked previously about being a wounded healer. So if you are truly a person who has been through some things, that you have something that you can offer to the world, which would allow the world to heal, then you are the change that you've been waiting for. You are the one that the world has been waiting for. If you're waiting for the world to change, be that change. There's something else that I want to present to you. Hopefully it will cause you to stop and think. And that is this topic of good and bad, truth and lie. And I want to present it to you in a way that I've come to believe is much more accurate. And that is that right and wrong are the same, are different sides of the same coin. They are a perspective. And the same way that a person can be right, they can be wrong. Okay? If you look at it from a linear perspective, that you got right on one side of the line and wrong on the other side of the line. If you bring those lines together in a circular motion, now right is right next to wrong, or you're right in the same vicinity. When you think of it from that perspective and you think about those words that we learned that they talk about in relating to Source, God, the universe, that I am the Omega, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, they can be side by side or interconnected, not necessarily from a linear perspective with one on one pole and one on the other. And when you come to the point of joining those things together, you realize that when you make a decision, it is a minute fraction of distance, or really no distance, towards the right decision that caused or brought about a particular outcome. And then the opposite decision that brought about maybe a negative outcome. And so those two positions are not at diametrically opposed positions on a line, but from a circular position, they're right there together. that circular which creates the eternity that goes on and on and on and on in a circle. We all have the ability to have the lives that we like to live once we make the decision of what we want to do. When we stop waiting for something outside of ourselves to change the life that we're living, we begin to live the life that we choose to have. We do this when we have people in our lives and we've been trained to lead them there. They'll get better. Don't cut them off. They'll come forward. Well, what if they don't? What if they're still living the way that they live by the time our lives end? We will have never seen that change, as opposed to Maya Angelou's wonderful thought, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. If a door is open and something continues to come through the door, close the door. Okay? Close the door. If it tries to come through the window, close the window. So sometimes we're waiting on the world to change. Something that we have an absolute ability to change, which is to remove some of the hindrances, the challenges, and the problems, quote unquote. Because as I said, a challenge you overcome, a problem you get rid of. Being able to remove some of those problems out of our lives is not the world's responsibility. It's our option. And when we realize that our future on a continuum goes around and around, not one side to the other, when we come to the place of realizing that our past, as we look at it in our present, will create our future, we get a much better concept on being the change, bringing the light, and allowing our lives to be what we have been waiting on something and someone outside of ourselves to change. We have the opportunity to be the change. We have the opportunity to bring the light. And it's simply when we get a different perspective on who we are, the value of who we are, how powerful we are. We remove the middleman. And so many times that is exactly what some of our religious man's efforts to reach God, some of our religious beliefs have made us, and they put themselves in the middle to become the middleman. When we remove the middleman, we have direct access to the fullness of who we are, and the connection directly to Source, the universe, God, the Creator. I hope that this has been a help to you. I'm going to continue in this mode and with this understanding. And we're going to begin to really look at how great and how awesome as individuals we are, and the potential that we have to be once we remove the middleman and once we stop waiting on the world or something outside of us to change. We have the ability to be the change. We are the change. We are the light. We are what we've been waiting for. If you haven't done so, please get a Diamond Journey journal. As we move forward in this part of the series, I'm going to go in again and explain the use of the journal, how you're able to refocus where you want to go, who you are in various areas, and so that you can become everything that you would like to be. If you haven't done so, visit my website at www.DrAnitaMc.com. Visit me on NoomVibe as well as FanBase. Have a great, great day.